when we started the season at Shanghai, and PIGGY then went on to dominate the first half of the season. We wouldn't have thought that it would come down until Qatar with the battle against F1 Fan. But here we are. Welcome to the last round of Formula 1 eSport in the season 0 before it follows the F1 calendar next season, and we do have a fight for the title around Lusail. F1 Fan is only 3 points behind PIGGY in the Drivers' Championship because PIGGY has not raced for the last 2 rounds. F1 Fan has taken a podium at every single round as well though, so he's done incredibly well and won the last 2 races. On the grid though, today we have Krasnit starting on pole position. If Krasnit wouldn't race today, F1 Fan could take his position, but they don't do that, which I find a bit strange, because Williams would need a 1-2 to win the Constructors' title around here. Kado is on the front row for the first time in this league. He might still try and get a win in this last race. Guillermo is in P3 with a nice qualifying after he theoretically would have won at Brazil. Go 7 and Skibidi once again qualifying 4th and 5th for RB. Mad Max now racing for Aston Martin is in P6. Matt and Futrike, his new teammate, racing for Haas, and they also have some nice positions. They're still in the fight against RB, so the advantage goes to the Racing Bulls for now. Frimpong is in P9. He had a very good race last time out. And Nikhil, first of the Williams, in P10. And then come the 2 drivers which we will be looking on for the entire race and sprint, which will now happen for the first time ever in this league. PIGGY follows his teammate in 11th, and F1 Fan 3 points behind in the championship, 1 place behind PIGGY for the sprint. Seb starts 13th, and Pla races for the first time in the last round of this season. Let's go into the first 19 laps of action for today. Now we will use the same format that F1 used in 2022, so the sprint defines the grid for the race and its points for the top 8. And the first ever sprint race in Formula 1 eSport at Qatar is about to start. Mediums and soft tires for all the drivers, and we are underway heading towards the quite quick turn 1, and Krasnit leads out of that corner still. Kado is in second, and Guillermo trying to go around the outside of that double right-hander. Remember, this is the starting positions that will... Oh, and big off for Kado and one of the Aston Martins as well. Mad Max going down the order. Let's take a look at the front though. Krasnit now with a big lead. He's in mediums, then Guillermo on softs. And PIGGY's gone up to 3rd position already. Unbelievable stuff. Where's F1 Fan? He's just behind him in 4th. Both of the championship protagonists have had an incredible start. I suppose it's going to be 8 points for the winner, just like in F1. And Guillermo hanging on around the outside. PIGGY though trying to do an incredible move in the hairpin. F1 Fan though goes up the inside of Guillermo. And now the championship protagonists are in 2nd and 3rd already. F1 Fan's trying to go around the outside of turn 12, 13 and 14. And that's all flats out until turn 1. You can track extend there at the end of the circuit. But in these cars I think you don't even have to. And PIGGY is still ahead of F1 Fan and would extend his gap a little bit more still for the race. And of course get a nice position as F1 Fan makes a mistake and also immediately gets penalized for it by Guillermo, who takes 3rd place away from him. He's on soft tires. We do have 19 laps ahead of us, and the softs are probably not going to last. They're definitely not going to last. So they're going for the 1 stop and a 0 stop on mediums though. That's going to be quite difficult as well. But yeah, it's quite a few drivers that have gone for that option, and both of the drivers that are fighting for the championship are in there. Behind, it's Matt in 5th, Then Seb in the second Alpine, also up there. Kado's not had a good start. Yeah, of course, he was the one that went off in the long hairpin of turn 7. And Skibidi is chasing him down. There's a fight for second. Of course, these are our two main characters in today's race. And what? I'm going the wrong way. No, I'm not. Anyways, Piggy still ahead of F1 Fan as we then go down the main straight once more. It's a bit more difficult to overtake in the section of corners. But still, you don't break too much through there, but you can do some nice racing line tactics as Piggy now makes a mistake in the second corner. And F1 Fan then goes all the way around the outside and up the inside in the tightest corner of the racetrack. And this time he keeps it clean in the following corners, and we're once again going wheel to wheel through the 3 right-handers, then going on to the left-hander. It's pretty much about minimizing the distance and just, yeah, staying on the track and on the curbs as they go wheel to wheel through the hairpin. And Piggy just about dude, I'm just lost for words right now. No, Piggy's still ahead. Then Guillermo. F1 Fan having a look on the inside of turn 1. Oh, and he goes off the track. That's a common mistake also in real life, because you need to like go very much to the outside in turn 2. As now F1 Fan tries to go around the outside of the hairpin. You can run off the track there. Oh, and now he's pushed Piggy off a little bit. It gets a bit more feisty between the two of them now. And F1 Fan is through on his rival, as Piggy now has to defend against Guillermo as well. Of course, basically the McLaren teammate. I'm not sure if that is still the case, because Guillermo hasn't been racing for the main team since a long time. I'm not sure, did he race at Azerbaijan for them as well? And now there's once again been a mistake by F1 Fan, and he goes very wide in the hairpin, which makes Piggy's overtake just that little easier. And Skibidi becomes a DNF in the sprint race, and he's going to be at the back of the grid for the main race if he can rejoin there, as F1 Fan tries to make as much of a send. Oh, and there's another RB. Oh no, that was Skibidi. That was still Skibidi. That's just completely going out of bounds and across the track. I thought that was Go7, who's also racing for RB today, going crazy. And Piggy goes into the pit lane. Not even the medium tires will last. And some have gone for hards. So yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't inform myself about the tire wear in advance, which is why I can't tell you how long the hards last. But I would have thought that they would be enough for a zero stop. But no one decided to do so. As Krasnet now pits from the lead and gives it to F1 Fan unless he pits as well, and he does so. Krasnet goes for softs in the end. Yeah, so the medium soft tire seems to be the common one. Piggy now also is on that. And it's now equal tires for the two of them. Piggy pitted one lap earlier, of course. Oh, and there's a lot of chaos there. A lot of traffic for both of them. But F1 Fan's just a little bit further behind, and oh, what's happened there? Matt, just with a huge influence on the title, maybe. He went very, very wide at turn 10, and I mean, that was basically racing. There's just been a little bit of lag, I think. That was basically hard racing, but you then can't go as far as pushing him into the gravel, which is like very, very far from the racetrack anyway. But yeah, Matt still defending from F1 fan. And Piggy just trying to get past Guillermo now, who is on mediums in his second stint. Seb is the only one with 0 stops so far. But that won't be nice until the end. As Piggy now goes around the outside of turn 1. Keeps it on the track, unless Guillermo in turn 2. And unlike Guillermo. And now Kado is still here. Yeah, he's had a nice recovery as well. And is now fighting with Piggy. Right now the swing towards the Briton in the championship would be quite huge, as we almost go 3 wide, but then there's lag for Guillermo. Into the last corner we go, around the outside for Piggy. And wheel to wheel towards turn 1 as Piggy inches ahead on the straight because of the soft tires. I think Guillermo pushed off by the lag here. And they're wheel to wheel for so long. That's really incredible to see. We finally really get to see the 2 UMRL champions fight somewhere, because Kado hasn't been racing in this league, in that league, for more than half of the season, which is why he couldn't defend his title. Not sure if he could have anyway, because Piggy was so dominant. Oh, and now also once again very strange lag between Guillermo and Piggy, and that's F1 fan that just got passed. That is not Krasnet. Krasnet is still in the lead of the race by 7.5 seconds now. But F1 fan is now ahead again of Piggy. He managed to get through the traffic, get past Matt. And now here we are again. Matt, of course, still just behind them with a huge bag of popcorn, probably. And once again, towards turn 1, F1 fan, braking quite early. And yeah, he has to pay attention not to lose the slipstream at least. Oh, as Kado now holds up Piggy. And Piggy didn't realize that soon enough. And F1 fan then goes around the outside at turn 10. Almost Kado also going past. And F1 fan's taking the position. Up into second place he goes. And now he suddenly set back a little bit on the straight. And we once again are neck and neck towards turn 1. F1 fan pushing Piggy all the way off the road. But they still stay on the tarmac. It's very clean racing so far, I have to say. I mean, it's getting harder and harder. But we're still within the boundaries. And yeah, not within the white lines, but... Oh, and now Piggy through the 3 corners flat out, takes the inside line, and just by distance regains the place. Kado wants to have a say as well, as he now passes F1 fan. Can't pass Piggy into turn 1. Is F1 fan gonna go all the way around the outside? Not only that, he already gets his nose on the inside of turn 2, up the inside of Piggy. Oh, and Piggy now, with a strange bounce off the McLaren, goes onto the gravel, doesn't lose too much speed, and Piggy still keeps the position, and still we are... Oh, and F1 fan goes very wide in the flat out section, and still there's the 3 cars. As Kado now goes down the inside, it's the last lap of the race, across the line. My god, that was entertaining. Piggy takes P2, Kado in third on the different strategy. And F1 fan has lost 2 points in the fight versus Piggy. The first time that they are really going at it on track for the title. And this time the gap has grown from 3 to 5 points, which means it's going to be a lot harder in the 57 laps that are yet to come. Krasnit's taking the fastest lap, no point for that in the sprint. Matt in P5. Seb and Guillermo take nice points for Alpine. RB and Haas, but Haas were ahead in the championship, and with Matt's P5 they will extend their advantage. It was 13 points between them anyway, so yeah, harder for the middle class teams to overturn that. Oh, and also McLaren can now officially crown themselves champions of the world. Piggy takes second, but they would have needed a 1-2 without McLaren scoring any points in the main race. I didn't calculate the sprint race because it was very spontaneous. But well done, McLaren. You have always had the best of teamwork. Williams have made it a bit easier by not turning up, but that's not the fault of the Papayas. Well done. Unbelievable. Krasnit and F1 fan are the future of this game, but will they as a team be able to beat Piggy now with a bit of a bigger gap over F1 fan? And this is going down to the wire. I still can't believe it after what we saw from Piggy in the first half of the season, but he's shown it again. Let's just let the action speak for itself, because it was amazing already. This is it. For the second time, the 13 drivers picked the tires, and now Krasnit and Piggy are on the front row, and it's lights out for the final time in F1 ES 2024, and Krasnit has been clean off the line. F1 fan sends it down the inside of turn 2 and immediately affects Piggy with that as well, who drops down to 7th position. Aggressive start from the two Alpines, as well as Seb makes his way up into 2nd place, and Guillermo also tried to gain spots. Piggy has immediately regained the some as well, as F1 fan is in 2nd and Krasnit is in 1st. It is a 1-2 for the Constructors Champions in the autumn of 2024, and F1 fan also going up the inside immediately. Krasnit's on the medium tires. Can he still take the slipstream? Probably. They will have to do some amazing teamwork like they have done all the way throughout the season. Miami is a great example. I think Monaco qualifying as well. Piggy is in 3rd now and on the podium behind the two drivers that he's trying to fight directly for the points and for the championship. And the McLarens seem to have slowed themselves each other down. And Piggy goes through in the 3 right-hand kings. Once more, he just benefits off the better racing line, as it seems. F1 fan with the soft tires. Can he go around the outside? Dude, please don't take too many risks already. It's just the 3rd lap of 57, and you're still at the front. But look at this. Once again, the two championship protagonists find themselves at the front, as now Seb bails out of it. F1 fan's been slowed down by Krasnit. I don't think that Krasnit's doing the best of teamwork right here, but yeah, gonna have to take a look at that later again. But yeah, that did not work out as planned. Piggy leads the race after starting in 10th. I think he started in 10th ahead of F1 fan. I'm not sure in the sprint, but they're at the front. And McLaren not in the order that they should be in. Krasnit on the slower tire as well. It's not like F1 fan's being towed and is on the worst compound. Now he kind of lets him through, and now there's Kado also slipping past Krasnit. And I think that we will see the Frenchman also fight for this win today. He wants to have a say and also goes for the move on F1 fan in the first corner. And that makes life a lot easier, a lot harder for him and a lot easier for Piggy. The gap currently at 1.5 seconds, as now Krasnit is the one that loses a lot of time. Yeah, Seb then in P5, goes 7, has already made up some places again. Frimpong still running somewhere in P7. Mad Max also in 8th. He took 1 point for the Aston Martin team, and it was just their 5th of the season. And Nikhil, not having a say in the race so far. So yeah, it's still 2 versus 1 at the front between the McLarens, and I think there's a fight for P3 right now. Oh, and that's one of the McLarens, once again Krasnit, who gets caught up with Seb. Seb is not part of the McLaren family. What's he doing there? I'm not sure. Yeah, 11th then is Guillermo. Oh no. What's happened to him? What's happened to the driver that was supposed to win the Brazilian Grand Prix without the team orders? Then Pla. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be player. Very common name in this game. In 11th and now 10th has made his way past Nico. There's actually a huge fight going on between the three of them, and Pla seems to have won that right now as Nico is drifting on these soft tires already. And Futrike sadly right now is in 13th. The gap still at about 1.5 seconds, and Go 7 holds the fastest lap. Oh, and there's a bit of lag. I'm not sure if that's only for a F1 fan. F1 fan now in second, and yeah, in between two very, very spicy contenders for the win, at least as Piggy now does make a mistake in these 3 corners that have become his favorites maybe on this track. And F1 fan now is in the slipstream. As we go towards turn 1, they are on equal compounds of tires, so no speed difference just because of that. And once you pull out of the slipstream, it gets pretty difficult to actually make the move. But yeah, we see both of them make some mistakes. It is incredibly tense because the gap is so low. And yeah, the gap between first and second is of course 7 points, just like in Formula 1. So it would still be the championship win for F1 fan if he just finishes in first and Piggy in second. And F1 fan now takes a fresh set of medium tires and also kinda forces the undercut on Piggy. Krasnit remains in third, Kado in second. And yeah, that's a very nice gap that F1 fan has found himself, as Kado now catches up on the medium tires, which might now become faster than the softs in this part of the race. But Piggy, 1 lap after F1 fan, comes into the pit lane. Where is the Romanian driver on the track? We see Piggy on the small dot trying to come out of the pit lane, but F1 fan, who was behind Piggy before, is now well ahead of the Briton. I'm not sure, did we see a mistake by him on this lap? That's actually quite a big gap, and I wouldn't have thought that the undercut is so powerful. Then there's a fight for 4th position, which Matt is currently leading, but Krasnit on the fresh soft tires that he's on goes around the outside of the flat out corners, down the inside then at the second to last one, and sends Matt to the pit lane. Mad Max does so as well. Then there's Seb, he goes up into 5th position. And now fight between the 2 Hasses. Futrike hasn't pitted yet, and that's why Matt just can get past a bit more easily than he would normally do. And somebody's in the slipstream of somebody. Krasnit is now on softs and wants to catch up to Piggy. Oh, and that's if that's strategy, it's very interesting. But now Kado appears in the frame as well, and Piggy makes a mistake. Kado forces the McLaren off. Now goes around the outside of Piggy, forces him off too, and now goes off the track as well. And now, wow, Krasnit has also gone off the track, and Piggy in second for now. Now Kado passes him on softs. Yeah, I just wanted to say, if that's teamwork by a McLaren, that now Krasnit is on softs and tries to make life difficult for Piggy, it has worked out. And now there's a Ferrari in the way of both of them. And F1 fan leads the race. What a turnaround with the undercut. That's unbelievable. The gap now at 2 seconds, and yeah, now Kado basically's got the championship in his hands in terms of decision. And And maybe Piggy's just taking the slipstream right now, as it looks like. He stays behind because he knows it's going to be very hard for him to get past into turn 1 on the inferior compound of tire. It is still a long race to go for all of them. And P can bide his time. He is the more experienced guy. Kado is of course as well. But the F1 fan and Krasnet, the McLarens, is the young blood in this league and in many leagues. I think that we will see both of them also go at it for the title against Piggy, hopefully against Kado in UMRL. It would be so fantastic to see them really give everything and also really be there every race. Let's see if F1 fan can actually fight Piggy. Right now, it looks like it. The sprint was a bit of a different story most of the time. And now there's a move for Kado to get past F1 fan, who's kind of lost a lot of time. How are his tires looking? Still okay, but Kado on the softs has to make a move slowly, and he of course is also there with the slipstream, getting dragged along by Kado as he goes down the inside of turn 10. This will make the distance to cover for F1 fan also a bit more. And now round the outside of turn 14 goes Piggy and past his rival for now. F1 fan stays behind. Kado is in the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix on the other compounded tires. Now they all have the slipstream, apart from the guy with the quicker tires. F1 fan trying to make a move. He seems to be a bit more nervous still than Piggy, but we can sense the pressure in all of them, apart from maybe Kado. He looks to be quite chilled in the Ferrari. He's taken 2 podiums in the races that he's competed in so far. Now he wants to win, but he's not in the fight for the championship anyway, and he just casually trails along the 2 drivers that are under massive pressure behind him. But wow, that's fantastic to see. Krasnet is now, where's Piggy? Piggy with a mistake, and now they are immediately wheel to wheel. They're out of the slipstream from Kado right now. Now let's see what F1 fan is going to do into turn 1. How long will he stay behind? Oh, and there's lag. Is he going to come back again? No, he's not. F1 fan stays where the lag has taken him. And now he's lost the slipstream to Piggy. It's all been stretched out, but the advantage goes to Piggy. And yeah, the pendulum has swung around. Now it would be Piggy, champion of the world in Formula 1 eSport. And of course it would also be great to just see what we're seeing right now next season in F1 ES as well. I think the league will get more attention then, because it's a bit more special. It follows the F1 calendar, and that's also why it would happen all year long, and also like every 2 weeks only. And yeah, there will be multiple UMRL seasons to win, but only one of F1 ES. Let's hope that the league will go ahead actually. But it looks quite positive, even though we still don't have the spec series, the non-spec series right now, where you can upgrade your cars. That would be something to distinguish it even more. Krasnet and also F1 fan take their second pit stops as Matt just goes wheel to wheel with the Aston Martin, with the Haas of Matt. I also can't hide my excitement today, you might have noticed. But yes, the 2 McLarens now have pitted. While Kado and Piggy are still staying out, but now they pit too. Piggy just kind of waving to Kado. Is there a sense of or a sign of please help me. And now F1 fan is right behind Piggy. Yeah, so the undercut not working this time. Towards the hairpin we go. Was F1 fan thinking about the move? He certainly did not commit to it. It might have been the better choice. But these two are now left on their own, 3 seconds behind Kado and Krosnet, who are on softs. And now without any external influences, they can go at it once more, as your front fan has to go the long way round. Piggy just covers the inside of turn 1, and there's not a lot that you can do about that. Once again, covering it off in turn 4, and he's too far behind to send it down the inside of the hairpin. Then there's a few long corners, the S's, and a very wide hairpin with a very wide exit. That's where Matt, I think, ran F1 fan all the way until the all the way to the gravel, and then the rest of the lap is just flat out taking the minimum distance. And across the line we go with F1 fan, this time going to the inside. Piggy couldn't cover it off early enough, and Piggy can't stick his nose at the inside at turn 2 significantly enough to deny F1 fan here. And right now it would be 15 points to F1 fan's name and 12 to Piggy's, so that is still not enough. F1 fan needs to move up further again in the positions. Yeah, also the difference between P2 and P3 is the same, as Piggy now tries to go down the inside and around the outside of turn 2. Bit of a more complex move than the ones we saw. So yeah, the only difference between two positions, if they finish in this order, that would be enough for F1 fan, would be P1 and P2. If not, then Piggy has to finish further behind, and yeah, Piggy just has gone ahead of F1 fan again, because F1 fan has had lag. And that's also not too nice. Kado and Krosnet are now fighting for the lead next to that amazing battle. And if now Matt has left the game, he's out of the race. He was in 9th position, and now there is no Haas left in the points, and Skibidi has not rejoined after the sprint. So right now it's no points and no change between Haas and RB in the fight for 5th in the team's championship. As a F1 fan decides not to go for a move this time, but just falls almost a little bit too far behind. But now he's the one that's just waiting. Kado with the fastest lap as well still holds the lead ahead of the leading McLaren, and Kado just kind of weaves in the straight, maybe not expecting Krosnet to get that much speed already. Kado cuts, almost cuts into Krosnet there, really hugging the inside line as much as he can while going around the outside of another car. And that's worked out beautifully for him to compromise the racing line of the Spaniard. So we have the fight for the lead, and the fight for the lead in the league. Exactly, just behind that. As Piggy goes wide in the last corner, and I said you don't have to do it in these cars because it's flat out, and if one fan might just try and brake a little bit later, force Piggy wide. He forces himself wide in turn 2 though, carries too much speed and loses the position and almost the slipstream as well. Krosnet has pitted, Kado still hasn't. Let's see what the McLarens are now gonna do. Krosnet's already passed. Piggy now misses it with a mistake in the triple apex corner. Oh, and that's really, really messy. Piggy not without mistakes, but F1 fan, yeah, surely doesn't want Krosnet to be in the way for too long, as there are now lapped cars in the way. They have to stop fighting. They're just about worked out well for them. And F1 Fan and Piggy, well, wheel to wheel. Now they aren't anymore, because Piggy was off the track, and F1 Fan now is through with his teammate just in front of him. And now he's like, quick, get away with the soft tires and give me the slipstream. Or is that gonna be team orders to let F1 Fan pass again? I don't think that's a nice idea. But Piggy's just, oh my god, and now Kado's in there as well. Piggy with a mistake, with an off, and that's a huge mistake. Kado tries to send up the inside of everyone immediately. He's pitted a lot later than Krasnit. Down the inside of turn 10, Kado's just going for the lead of the race. Krasnit having to bear something different in mind as well. F1 Fan now quite on his own in turn 3. Wow, things can become very stressful very quickly every time as soon as Kado appears on screen. But then he just takes the lead. Oh, Krasnit now sweeping past again though in turn 3. Oh, and yeah, I'm not sure if there was some lag involved here. But Krasnit was going very wide and then forced off by Kado too. 1 second between F1 Fan and Piggy. After that pretty costly error, we're on lap 33 and things are, yeah, things might become even more desperate as we count towards the end of the race, towards the end of a fantastic season. But this race certainly the best one, with the two contenders for the title now being defined over their own performances, but they've never really had a wheel-to-wheel battle. Krasnit and Kado now had quite a few of them already as well in this race, as Krasnit tries to go down the inside but does not have his nose ahead. Oh, and Kado also going too much to the inside of turn 3. Yeah, it's also the first time that I commentate a race around this track. It's, of course, difficult to overtake, you will also say in this game. But if you get wheel to wheel, like through the first few corners or something, then it is really fascinating, which is kind of the same as in real life. How to really get an amazing battle, but if it goes on until the hairpin right there, it's really amazing. While I was talking, Krasnit once again had an attempt to pass Kado, but Kado just doing the same thing as before, trusting his grip around the outside of turn 1, and then he could take the position back or stay ahead in turn 2. And now Krasnit is pitting earlier than Kado again and goes for softs again. They're all now on the red striped tires, which is an aggressive choice. I'm not sure if that's conscious or not. Best of the rest right now, by the way, Guillermo, who was like 11th position at the start when I paid attention last time. And same for Alpine as well. They are in 6th behind RB and Haas. I didn't even mention them, but they're basically in the fight, and they would pass at least RB. Don't have the time to calculate right now if they would pass Haas as well, but they might do it. The hard tires aren't unpopular at all at the front. Kado now has got a 5-second lead over F1 Fan. Then Krasnit is here in 3rd, of course, with one more stop. And in terms of the driver's title, it's now 2 positions between F1 fan and Piggy. 5 points is the gap in the championship. So let me do the maths as Kado pits as well. And you can see if he comes out ahead or behind of Crossnet. And he's right there. Yeah, now the math has changed as well again. And now, definitely, it would be the title for F1 fan because Piggy's in 4th. Of course, it won't stay like it. Oh, and Piggy with massive understeer, just carrying too much speed in the long wide hairpin. And losing, yeah, more time again. But yeah, even if Piggy would finish 2nd right now, with the F1 fan winning, it would not be enough. But it won't stay like this, of course, because Kado and Crossnet are on fresher tires, will pass F1 fan for now. And let's see which strategy is going to be correct. Very, very different approaches between Kado and Crust, who have been fighting for the win now most of the race. And Piggy and F1 fan with a different goal in mind. But they've kinda slipped behind the two of them, which is good for Piggy. Or Piggy won't mind. Piggy will feel a bit calmer in this position. But F1 fan needs those big points and the positions on which they're given out. And now F1 fan has also made his not last pit stop, probably 2nd to last pit stop. It will be soft tires again in the last stint. Yeah. So now he's back in 3rd, Piggy in 4th. And once again, it would be Piggy now winning the championship. Kado and Crossnet might also take softs towards the end of the race, though. I'm not sure if they're required to take the mediums. I think they can carry it out long enough. So yeah, it looks like the advantage is still towards Kado and Crossnet, and by that, the advantage will also go to Piggy and not to F1 fan. Piggy has taken every single point that he could have taken with the races that he took part in. China, Miami, Monaco and Belgium, the first 4 rounds of the season. He won them and took the fastest lap. And then he didn't race ever since, neither at Azerbaijan or at Brazil. An F1 fan has taken 5 podiums, only didn't race at the first round at China. And if you do the maths, F1 fan hasn't taken a fastest lap, but he's won the 2 races where Piggy hasn't been here. Then you get this amazing fight, which we are witnessing right now, as Crossnet makes his final stop, and he has to go for mediums. Wow, Kado will do something different, I guess. I think Kado will go for softs. Look how nice his tires are looking still, actually. Crossnet has pitted earlier than Kado many times this race, and now he might pay the price for it. And of course, there can still be team orders between Crossnet and F1 fan, and right now would be 18 points for F1 fan and 12 for Piggy, which again would be a gap of 6 points. And right now, in this moment, without considering strategies, it would be F1 fan winning the championship. But look at the gap between Crossnet and Piggy. It was just under a second, but there's no slipstream yet. for the Williams driver. Yeah, he certainly has to fight 2 cars on his own. Nicholas DNF from the race actually, before Matt. So he certainly can't help out. Nico has only taken 1 podium. That was at the first race at China where they scored a 1-2 because of the penalties for McLaren. And yeah, Kado now makes his 5th and final stop of the race and takes soft tires. Krosnet will be behind him and probably it will stay like this. And it's not even going to be tough for Kado to hang it out until the end. And with that, F1 fan takes the lead for now. His soft tires, of course, don't look too great anymore, and I would say the strategy by Kado and Krosnet was certainly the better one. I didn't trust that only because they were 1-2 in the race, but now it looks like it. As F1 fan makes his last stop, Piggy has not made his last stop so far, does so as well now, and yeah, he's a lot behind F1 fan though. 5 seconds of a gap. Right now it would be the win for P again, just because of the gap, but Krosnet is the one that's in 2nd place and he will let F1 fan through if it stays like this, and also if Krosnet would take the lead. And yeah, then it would be like I told you earlier on, with 18 for F1 fan, 12 for Piggy, the gap in the championship at 5 points, and if you do the maths, it's going to be 6 points of an advantage for F1 fan. Or maybe even more if Krosnet would win. I know then there's Kado still in there. Yeah, but it's looking good for F1 fan. That's what I'm saying. Because there's 2 McLarens in this 4-pack. And Piggy won't gain any positions on track anymore. That's quite clear. And the dominance isn't here right now. Which is, I mean, he's still at the front, but that's actually more impressive than I might think at the first glance, because he won everything when he raced. Let's see, we certainly have missed a lot of battles behind the top 4. Mad Max is doing a solid job here. At least he's holding his 8th position, but he had to fight for it many times. Matt, of course, is now no longer part of the race. There's a nice move. I think that's where Yamaha has actually lapped Pla. But Pla will actually also score points. And now, the Papaya cars are on the same straight, going through the same corner even, at the same time. And the obvious decision is going to be taken soon, with Piggy out of reach. And yeah, what can he do about it? Kado will go on to win this race. He has also played a big part in this race, maybe. But yeah, maybe just focused on himself, and it was always very chaotic when he appeared on screen. But maybe that was just because he always passed them, and yeah, mixed up things for a short moment, but then it was him who ended up on top, and he will take maximum points as it stands. Tires by Krosnet actually look worse, and they're mediums. We have 2 laps to go in this season. We will of course also see the Qatar Grand Prix in F1. I made a prediction at Monaco earlier this season for the Mexican Grand Prix, which turned out to be right. What will I say now? Before the last lap, Verstappen got a 1-place grid penalty, which I've never seen before. Now the team order will come here. That's a bit more important than the real life stuff. Let's just focus on the 2D images on my screen. And F1 fan has been led through by Crossnet on the very last lap. That is fantastic teamwork, but that was what they had to do for this race. And it pretty much shows what happened throughout the season as well. We now are going to witness a Ferrari win in the F1 league of this game for the first time ever. We had to see that in season 1 as well, and Kado has made it work. He wins the Qatar Grand Prix. It's going to be second place though for F1 fan, who has been led by Crossnet, and now the gap is at 6 points versus Piggy, who has left the race and the game already, doesn't celebrate because F1 fan is champion of the world in F1 ES with an amazing fight and an amazing catch-up in the last part of the season. Piggy didn't race, F1 fan made the most out of it together with his teammates. Guillermo also doing donuts in the first corner. That is fantastic to see. And they will take the fight to Piggy in any league, I believe. A small dream come true maybe in the life of F1 fan. Piggy even off the podium in the decider of a championship that looked so secure for him after Spa. Guillermo and Seb take 5th and 6th position, and we will see in the standings in a few moments time if that is enough to even pass Haas in the standings. Don't think so, but they're ahead of RB. This is team of Red Bull, which is the main team in this league. Is only in 6th in the standings. Frimpong takes 7th, and also solid points for Ferrari in the last race. They are very solid in 3rd in the championship. Mad Max, with a nice race for Aston Martin, brings home their best ever finish. Futrike then still takes 2 points for Haas after Matt didn't finish the race. Go 7 scores points for the 3rd race in a row. Pla just about doesn't this time, and Matt and Nikhil don't finish the final race of F1 ES in 2024. That was fantastic. The racing, the strategies between the two parties that have established themselves. But in the end, it made the difference that there were 2 McLarens at the top, as almost always this season, and Piggy didn't have that incredible dominance over the competition this time. And here now are the season results of the first ever season of F1 ES. Let's wrap it up from the back. I don't think that there's every driver here in the list. For example, GX Nico didn't take a point, but here are the ones that scored. Laguna with just 1 point at Spa. That's very unusual to see him at the back there. Then Bob, just 1 point from the sprint today. Futrike with 2 from the race today. Then Petrusa in P20. Oski with 2 points from a race at China where he could have scored more. Goes 7 in P18. Then it's Mad Max with 6 for Aston Martin. Skibidi only in P16. Brasilas ahead of him in the Ferrari. I think he competed in more qualifyings than races. Then Vinny is just ahead of him, and Majumdar is tied on points with Malik, who didn't race as often in the second half of the season. Then Tsumis, same thing for him. Pigeon makes the top 10 on 16 points, actually tied with Tsumis, but taking a better result once. Set in 9th ahead of Pigeon. Then it's Nikhil, who of course took the 2nd place with the 1-2 at China. Matt in P7 taking important points for Haas. We will look at the team's championship in a few moments time. Then Frimpong 254 points, not taking a podium anywhere. And Guillermo is tied with Kado, but Kado, with today's win and 2 second places, has got the better results. But Guillermo playing an important part in the McLaren team game, crushed it now in P3 in the first real papaya car, winning today's sprint, but not a race. An F1 fan has taken the championship today by 1 point over Piggy. He has done it with 4th place in the sprint today and 2nd in the race. Huge congratulations to both of them for an amazing season of racing, which was rounded out perfectly, and I hope that we will get to see more of that with more amazing drivers. Without Max Verstappen or Fernando Alonso, Red Bull and Aston Martin have had quite a downfall in this league. They are in 8th and 7th with less than 10 points for both of them. RB in P6 not managing to get past Haas or Alpine, and these two actually have got the same amount of points, but Alpine takes 4th because they have taken podiums and Haas haven't. Ferrari in P3 pretty much in no man's land, Kado being their most noteworthy driver. Williams in the end are 70 points behind McLaren, who win the Constructors' Championship. Once again, awesome job by all of them. And that's what it is. After the 7 rounds, I hope you join us for 2025, which will be a long season if it goes as planned, and very important league then. I hope you enjoyed the race. I certainly did, including the sprint, and then I'll see you at Melbourne in 2025.